Good evening, it's your boy, the King Jace. You can find me everywhere, the King Jace. I want to say thank you to everybody that watches. Uh, Not too many people watch this short and sweet. I'm just trying to keep it simple. Uh, I don't know. Comment if you subscribe. Please comment. Um, Tonight I'm going to talk about kids being used as a weapon to hurt the other parent. Kids being stepkids calling the step parent mom or dad, and how the other parent feels about it. I think these are big conversations and big topics. My wife is going to come on too. Um, I just think that it's important for your kid to feel comfortable with both parents, and being able to call your step parent mom or dad is their own choice. Like with my son, I gave him the choice to call Lana mom. I said, basically, when we got married, I was like, she's your stepmom now, so you can call her mom if you want to, or you can call her Alana. And he said, that's my mommy. That was his choice. I don't think it's right when the other parent is like, makes a big deal about it when it's really not that big a deal. If you're married to the other person and they're good to your kid, what does it matter? That's just my opinion. I would like to get another opinion, so let's see if my wife's ready to come in here yet. So she's going to be coming out in a moment. I'm slurring a little bit because I'm tired. I'm really tired today. It was a long day. Plus, I had a hearty helping of soup, and I'm really tired from it. My wife makes the best soup. So yeah, stepkids calling the parents, step parent, mom and dad, and kids being used as a weapon. So that's what we're talking about. We're gonna have another opinion. Here she is.
Matters out of control today.
All right, so I was telling them about stepkids calling the step parent mom or the step parent mom or dad, and the other parent feeling some type of way about it, basically.
That's a big one.
And also kids being used as a weapon to hurt the other parent.
That's a big one.
Anything that you wanted to touch base on?
Sure. So tired right now.
So tired.
I feel like I'm lagging a little here. So I forget why it had gotten brought up. Well,
you're talking to your friend about it.
Right. So one of my friends and I were talking about co-parenting and about how it seems so different for everybody and everybody's relationships. Like she and her ex-husband, now that they're separated, are pretty good friends, basically. They have a very friendly relationship. They take care of their 3 kids together to the point where, I don't believe there's a child support thing going on. It's just if she needs something, he helps her. If he needs something, she helps him. They're there for the kids together as much as they can. On days when she has the children, she even sometimes takes her ex's stepchild for the night as well, just to be helpful. So that's cool that some people can actually have that relationship with their ex that's good like that. And then there's a whole other aspect of it where it's
you
just
could
completely
have
volatile and just
a baby mama whose name
vicious
rhymes with Messica. I'm just saying, it's rough being a step parent either way for the parent or the kid. We talked about this before. It's brought up because it's an issue that's an ongoing issue. It's an issue in my life going on where my son wants to call her mommy because that's his mommy. And he calls his mother. That's his mother. That's his own choice. He made up those guidelines. I didn't make them up for him.
We spent months trying to correct it, forever trying to correct it, saying, no, it's Alana. And he was like, no, I'm calling you mommy. And then we tried mommy Alana to try and smooth that over, and no, he wasn't having any of that. It was still mommy. So finally, we just kind of gave up. And since we're married, we had the conversation with him of, I'm your stepmother. I'm not your biological mother, meaning, your mom, Jessica, that's your mom. And I'm your stepmom. But since we're married, you can call me mom here. And when you're at Jessica's, you need to refer to me as Alana.
And it's not like we're like pushing it on him or anything, because if that were the case, then we would be pushing on the boys to call me dad, and we don't.
Right.
Like, they talk about me, they say my dad, but when they talk to me, they say Jace. And I don't have a problem with that. I've already told them, like, yeah, I would like if you called me dad because I see you as my sons, but you don't have to call me that. Mm-hmm. They usually call me Jace, but I'm cool. I'm cool with that. Sometimes, once in a while,
it slips out.
It slips out. Be like, hey, Daddy-O. I'm like, what's up? It's cool. Either way, I love them either way. Whether you call me Jace or Dad, you're still my son. That's how I see it.
It's always an interesting topic because people have such drastically different views on what to call the step parent, and I think that it all depends on the relationship between the child and the step parent, and also the relationship between the biological parent and the step parent. The other night, after a particular situation had happened and people were upset and what have you, I was thinking to myself, how would I feel if the boys had a relationship with their father and he had a significant other and they called her mom. And I think that you want to pretend like it wouldn't bother you, because you're just so much better than that it wouldn't bother you. But I feel like it would depend on the type of person that they are. If they were the kind of person who took care of my children and loved my children and treated them in a good way, treated them like their own children, and they weren't trashy, junky, drunk, garbagey type people, then that would be a totally different situation than if I was just, a drug addict who was in a non-committed relationship with their father. Then that would be, one thing. But considering the fact of, if they were married and she cared for them the way that I care for my children, then I guess, I probably wouldn't feel too horrible about it. Right. I might still have that, well, it's still my kid. Like, you're not their mother, but I could get, them calling her mom. So I think it depends on the situation. It depends on the person. And it's, it's difficult. Like, he refers to me as mom, but he does not refer to her boyfriends as dad. Right. So that's one of the situations there.
And that's his choice.
Right.
And she's trying to push on him that if he's going to be here calling her mom, then he needs to be there calling him dad. But it's not the same situation.
Right.
Now, if they were to get married, I would personally go and talk to Fran and be like, look, if you're going to be dad, then, he should be able to call you dad if he wants to. But if you're cool with that and he's cool with that, I'm cool with that. And I should have a say because he is my son. So, like, she has a problem with it. We accept that, but we can't stop him from calling her at this point, mommy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't be like, look, you can't do that anymore, even though you've been doing it for over a year.
The difference, though, is that it's a petty thing also. It's not so much about the relationship between Casey and I. It's that she doesn't like me personally, not because I've done anything to her. It's just that that's how it goes. Like, Jace's girlfriend beforehand, she didn't care that he called her mommy. He used to call her mommy Amanda, I believe, and she didn't care. But then I came along and Casey immediately started calling me that. And like I said, I had spoken to her about it and I had spoken to Casey about it and had tried to convince him to call me Alana, and he was just having none of it. And she had no issue with it until it became obvious that Jace and I were, I can't think of the word, going to be a committed couple. Like, we were serious. Once she realized that we were in a serious relationship, that's when that came to an end, and she decided that was not happening. But it all, like I said, depends on the person. Yeah. So It comes down to maturity, I guess. Maturity in the relationship between the child and the step parent, and the relationship between the step parent and the biological parent. If they don't like you, chances are it's not going to happen. It's not going to go well, regardless of how you treat the child. But then every once in a while, there is the relationship where they're, you know, the two parents and the step parents have a good relationship. It's just hard to find.
Now, she printed out some statistics. We're not going to go over the statistics right now. Maybe another day we'll come up with a
I'll probably talk more about parenting
well,
other times.
We're going to probably do a lot of shows about, most of our shows are probably going to be about parenting, because as parents, it's one of the main things that we do.
It's something that we're going through right now. So it's something that's relevant in our lives. The custody stuff, child support, child abuse, neglect, all of those things that are relevant in our lives right now. Casey is pretty much the number one big thing that's happening in our life at the moment. So it's something that we're constantly involved in.
All right. So wrapping up the step parents thing, we're going to talk about kids being used as a weapon to hurt the other parent.
Could go on for weeks about that one.
It happens so frequently, and I feel like in society, it's kind of sad in society that women feel like it's not even them using their child as a weapon against the parent. It's just like second nature at this point, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And it's not all women. It's not all parents. It's not all mothers out there. So if you're watching this and you're
this
a
is not
mom
bashing.
I'm not bashing
I've seen
anyone.
Men do the same thing.
But
so
I've seen more often than not in the state of Rhode Island where the woman will just use the child as a means to either hurt the other person
or get what
they want, or to basically trap the man into trying to be either in a relationship with them or to give them some type of financial satisfaction. And it's crazy to me that women don't even see it, like a lot, not all women, but some women, the women that do it now that I've seen, they don't even realize they're doing it. It's just second nature.
It's second nature. It's a generational thing as well. I've found that the majority of women around here that have that mentality, so did their mothers. They're raised by single moms. Most of them either don't know who their dad is, or their dad has 12 children that they had nothing to do with. So it's only natural for them to think that that's what's normal for a life, is to just have the children, collect the child support, tell the guy to go make another baby. It is what it is. And I found that most women around here, and it's sad, are literally like, if you're not paying me, you're not seeing your child. So basically what they're teaching their children is men are only good for what they can give the woman. And then you end up with another boy who's having 12 children with all these different women who he has no involvement with, because he doesn't realize that fathers are something that are supposed to be there every day. They think that they're just a paycheck. And then you're having these daughters who are being raised to see what mom is doing, and they're producing all these children thinking that men are there just for paychecks.
And my friend Jonathan, he posted something on Facebook. I'm not going to directly quote it because there's racial slurs in it. And he's an African American guy. He posted it, but I'm not going to say the word like verbatim. I'm not going to quote it verbatim. But basically what it was saying is what they used to do back in the day is they would take the black people they had that were their slaves, and they would have a black man get a black woman impregnate. Then they would have the baby, but they would take the father right out of the picture. Boom. So what happens is that child is going to grow up with that mom showing the child that through struggle, that child's going to be like, basically at the end of the story, it was like the child was physically strong, but emotionally weak. Mm-hmm. And that's because the father was taken from the picture. Like it's a
proven fact. Children, it's a cycle. Both parents, they need a mother and they need a father. The mothers teach them the loving maternal home stuff, and the men teach them the stronger working, I guess, male aspect of things. So it's important to have a mom and a dad in the picture. I grew up with my mom and very little of my dad, unfortunately, and so did my brothers, but I guess it was a different time, but we missed that. We missed having a real father in our life. Thankfully, we were lucky and we had people like the Larrabees and the Millers and the Dursums in our life to step in as males. And both my brothers got to have that exposure, which was good.
Well, I think that parents should, if you're dealing with another parent, if you're a male or a female dealing with another parent, and the other parent wants to be in that child's life, you should allow them to be in their life. Even if you hate that person, or that other person disgusts you or makes you sick, or you just makes you crazy, or whatever the case might be, find a medium. Find somebody that you can be like, hey, so-and-so is really trying to be in the kid's life. Why don't can you help me out? Can you be like the middle person for me? It's not that difficult.
There's a third person do the
seriously
mediating,
because
if you can. I mean, of course, there's always the situation where it's helpless. In that case, I would say get a lawyer. But if there's even the slightest chance that the two of you could figure out a way to work things out together for the child, it's completely beneficial because kids really need their parents.
And by work out, we don't mean like you be like, oh, this is how I want it to be. It's like it's going to be a give and take. It's going to be mutual. It's going to be some type of mutual agreement.
Right.
Like I have the issue right now where I have 50-50 custody and placement, but my other parent feels that they have more rights than me.
Right.
Like as if
giving birth gave her automatically a more right to a child and made her more of a parent.
It's even to the point where like she'll text me and be like, he's not going to visit you early. It's not a visit. It's not. I have partial custody and partial placement, like 50-50. He lives here too. This is his house, just like your house. I don't say, oh, you're going to go visit your mom's place. I go, you're going to your other house.
Mm-hmm. Both places.
You have two houses.
Mm-hmm.
The hell? I don't know. It's a touchy subject, I guess. Anything else?
And everybody has different ideas about it, so it makes it a difficult thing to talk about. Because quite honestly, as we all know, the women all get up in defense about how, it's not their fault and they're doing everything they can and this person's just awful. And then all the men are always, well, women are just crap, and it's always a back and forth.
It's a never-ending battle.
When in reality, I mean, everybody chose to have the babies that they have with who they chose to have them with. So it's absolutely not the child's fault, and they're the ones that get hurt the most and put in the middle by it. So.
True story. It's very true.
Mm-hmm. If you don't want to deal with it, watch who you have babies with.
Tell us what you think about the show. We're big, sleepy, tired heads. We're going to go to bed. It's late. It's almost 12 o'clock. If you like the show, please comment, like, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends. I will be back on in the morning at some point. I'm going to try to go back to the regular schedule. It's been a little crazy. I don't have anything else to say.
More collected together for a conversation.
Anything for the
no
15 subscribers?
I'm ready for bed.
Tell your family and friends, let's double this subscription by the end of the month. Let's double this. Let's get a Merry Christmas.
Let's get some comments going.
And some comments.
The only comments that I've seen so far are from me.
And my aunt.
And Erin.
And my aunt. She's the best.
But other than the two of us, we're like the same person, so it doesn't really count.
You can't say that.
But we really are, though.
That's weird.
She's my
We're not the same person for many reasons. You're not the same person. All right. On that note, we're out of here. The King Jace. Find me everywhere. We're out. Peace.